Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathleen. For the new members, kindly hit the subscription button and touch the notification bell so that the next time I upload a video or I go online, you can be able to get an alert. For my continued supporters and viewers, I highly appreciate your feedback, your comments, and your suggestions. Kindly remember to give this video a thumbs up and share it among your platforms. So, in today's episode, the focus is on the suffering of Kenyans in Middle East countries in the name of job seeking. And the major question is, why is it that for a long time now we have had cases of Kenyans suffering, they are being physically assaulted, beaten, and even others coming home in coffins, and yet there seem to be nothing much has been done to curb the same. So in today's discussion, we are unmasking who are these entrepreneurs of slavery who are giving away our brothers and sisters to Middle Eastern countries and still don't do much to protect them as foreigners working in foreign countries, or even give them the security that they deserve, or even give them better working conditions that a foreigner could deserve in a foreign country, or even bring them back home when they cry that we really want to go home. Now, I have been able to follow up on news on Kenyans who are crying for help in the Middle East, majority coming from Saudi Arabia. And you realize that it has reached a point where I listened to one story that was being aired, where this girl who survived the horror of working as a house manager or as a housemaid in Saudi Arabia, saying it is high time that the government allowed anybody who is going to the Middle East sign their death certificates before they leave the country. It seems to be a simple statement, but honestly, with it, it carries a lot of weight. Why? It has reached a point whereby those who have survived the horror are equating working in Qatar or working in Saudi Arabia or Middle Eastern countries as a death certificate or as a death sentence. My question is, why is it that the agencies that are removing or are taking our brothers and sisters in Middle East countries not ready to bring them back, especially when they start facing difficulties with their bosses? Why is it difficult for the Kenyan embassy workers and officials to give the help and the protection that our brothers and sisters working in the Middle East countries, giving them the protection that they deserve? My question is, it takes around 1 week or 2 weeks for any Kenyan living in this country to go to Saudi Arabia to get his passport and the travel documents ready. It tells you that the individuals running these organizations and the agencies that are taking these young women outside the country, they are huge organizations and they have the financial muscle and the resources that just in case somebody can be able to get a problem back there, they can be able to bring the person back home. It takes if only it takes 1 week to process the passport, the travel documents, the visas and everything. Why is it difficult when these people cry that life here is really difficult? We cannot be able to cope up with these working conditions. Our bosses are inhuman. We are being beaten. We are being threatened at gunpoint. Please take us back home. These agencies are not ready to cooperate. Now, honestly, brothers and sisters, we are facing slavery, and we're talking about human slavery in the name of entrepreneurship for people who parade to provide jobs for young, desperate Kenyans in the Gulf. We have men and women who have come up with organizations in the name that they want to help young men and women get jobs outside the country because the rate of unemployment in Kenya is really going up. But in the real sense, these people are not true entrepreneurs because actually they are slave entrepreneurs. And I'm saying they are slave entrepreneurs because if you today connected somebody to a job, or if today you employed somebody and the working conditions turn out to be chaotic, you have the mandate to make sure that you pull out this person from the job that you gave them. But what's happening, the stories of young women who have come out of Saudi Arabia, they claim that even the agents who connected them to the countries where they have gone to work and the bosses that have humiliated them, these agents are not ready even to offer a simple support for these young women to come back home. In fact, one of the ladies who was being interviewed was saying that sometimes these agents will tell you that if you want to go back, you have to refund all the money that we have spent on you, and also you look for your own fare for you to go back to Kenya. Honestly, where is humanity? Where we have slave lords in the name of traveling agents and to Qatar, making fellow Kenyans work as slaves in foreign countries, and even threaten them that if you want to come out, you must raise this amount of money. Honestly, I think that it's high time we really looked at this thing from a holistic point of view. I'm meant to understand that these agents are not operating in a vacuum. They are operating in Kenya, and they have offices all over the country. And one of these offices, honestly, they have even licenses. I happened to step in one of the offices, and honestly, it's one of the executive offices that I've ever entered in this country. And when I looked at this office, I could be able to see that they even have licenses, they have workers, they have proper documentation of things. And one thing I learned from this office is that if today I want to go to the Middle East, they will be able to process for me the passport, the visa, the medical, and everything, and even introduce me to some short course on house management. But what puzzled me the most was the short period with which these people are able to get passports to travel, the East African passport that we Kenyans use. The last time I checked, if you are looking for a passport in Kenya, it has to take around 2 to 3 weeks for that passport to come out. But this is a case whereby a travel agent or a work agency is able to get these passports within 1 week. It tells you something that there's somebody working in the government or working in this immigration offices who is able to facilitate that, meaning that the people running these agents are not alone. They are with some other people in government parastatals, like in the migration offices, that are able to facilitate their activities. But that said and done, my question is, if the government is very much aware that we have Kenyans who are going to the Gulf, why is it not actually putting up measures, just like other countries like the Philippines, that has put measures to protect their citizens who are working as foreigners and in foreign countries? You know, it pains a lot that each time we get news that a Kenyan is crying in the Gulf, she needs help to come back. A family is receiving their beloved one as a luggage at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, who left to the Gulf to work because of desperation for jobs in the country, but has now come back dead. A family is looking for their beloved one who went to the Gulf and has never come back, and they don't know where that person is. And more worse is when you find that now even the travel agencies that connected these individuals to these countries actually are becoming rude, and even the government is doing nothing to follow up on these agents and instruct them or command them to facilitate the coming back of these young men and women who have gone to the Gulf. And one thing I also realized, most of the people who go to the Gulf and suffer are the women. Most of the stories that have come out, I don't know whether we have men actually who have gone to the Gulf and they have suffered. All we have men in the Gulf suffering. All we have families that have received their brothers in the name in corpses who went there to work. And for me, it raises a question on why could we have more women suffering in the Gulf than men counterparts? Is it that men are not coming out to talk? Is it that we have very few men going to work in the Gulf? And more importantly, is it that women are easily lured to the Gulf than their male counterparts? It's a question that I'm yet to unmask. But today the question is, why are the agents that are taking away or taking our sisters to the Gulf actually sitting down and supporting even bosses in the Gulf, as opposed to supporting their fellow Kenyans whom they have taken there to work? I know this is business, but how human is it to have entrepreneurs of slavery in this country in the 21st century? You know, it beats logic that we keep on talking about colonization and its negative legacy and impact in this country. But for more than 50 years after independence, we have slave entrepreneurs in this country, and this is a security issue to our young men and women who are unemployed in this country. We have slave entrepreneurs who are predating or who are preying on the desperate unemployed Kenyans and taking them to the Gulf. For them, it doesn't matter whether you will come back alive or dead. It doesn't matter the working conditions that you are going to work in. What matters to them is the fact that by the end of the month, they are able to get a commission out of your salary that you are supposed to be given in that country. So it tells me that even when we condemn slavery and historical processes like colonialism in Kenya as late as this century, the 21st century, we have entrepreneurs of slavery who get even business licenses. It is basically saying that in this country, we have legalized human slavery. We have legalized human trafficking indirectly by allowing agents that are taking young women to the Gulf, and these young women come back in coffins, and these young women come back crying, and these young women keep on crying in the social media for help to come back home. It is just saying that in this country, in the 21st century, we have legalized slavery, we have legalized human trafficking. In as much as we may say that the Constitution of Kenya does not allow human trafficking, it does not allow slavery, by legalizing or by giving licenses, business licenses to agents that are taking human beings from this country and subject them to harsh working conditions in foreign countries, simply because they are receiving some commission out of the salary that these young men and women are supposed to receive in their workplaces. Basically, we have legalized human trafficking. We have legalized slavery, and we really need to get out of this. In as much as we may be talking about the government will do something, we need to see that something done. It's either these agents are done away with, they are eliminated, or number two, the government sets up conditions and regulations for the bosses in Saudi Arabia. Countries like the Philippines have set up some conditions that if their beloved one, for example, dies working as a maid in the Gulf, the family that was hosting this maid will take care of the entire family, will take care of the children this person has left behind. Like, you will take care of them until eternity For them, they don't care. That is it. But that's not the case for a country like Kenya, whereby they come back, they go, but when they come back, it is even Kenyans in the social media who come together to pool resources for these young people to come. The question is there a Kenyan embassy in Saudi Arabia, for example? And what is the work of these officials when these young women run to this embassy? Do they get the help it deserves? Who is this ambassador in the Kenyan embassy in Saudi Arabia? Are they doing the right thing? Are they protecting our young men and women in these foreign countries? Are they upholding the sovereignty of our country, Kenya, and protecting its citizens in that space? And secondly, who is this giving business licenses to entrepreneurs of slavery in this country? Is he aware of these things that are happening? And if they are aware, because it's all over the media, it's all over the social media, what have they done to make a follow up on the same and prevent these cases, or even prevent further cries and deaths of our young women who are coming back in corpses from Saudi Arabia? And that it raises a very big question about unemployment in this country. It's not the first time. It's not the first time we are having cases of people dying in countries like Saudi Arabia. It's not the first time we have cases of people crying online in the social media about them being mistreated in Saudi Arabia. But each year we have Kenyans still going to these countries. It raises a question: why are Kenyans still going to these countries, despite the fact that we have had concrete evidence of others dying and coming back home in corpses? In fact, the other day we had a case whereby a corpse was misplaced and it ended up in Germany airport instead of coming to check AIE. You see, you can see the trauma and the deconstructions that comes with all these aspects of Kenyans going alive and coming back dead. And still we have Kenyans still who wants to go there. Why? Unemployment in this country and the desperation of the Kenyan youth is on the highest level. I normally say that what is killing the Kenyan youth, actually, it may not be so much political inclusivity and everything. What is killing the Kenyan youth is the social pressure to succeed. And this social pressure to succeed comes both from the family and outside the family. We have had it in a way that the society has been structured in a way that we take our children to school so that they can be able to build for us houses, so that they can be able to buy for us land, so that they can be able to take care of their young siblings. And you realize that as the situation in Kenya right now it is, a graduate from college can take up to 10 years without getting a job. And this graduate, the society is looking at him or at her with the mind that you went to the university and therefore you should be able to get a job, and you should be able to construct a good house, you should be able to take care of your siblings. In fact, at that particular point, parents wash their hands and sit down and wait for this graduate now to parent them together with the siblings. Yes, and that's the reality that is happening. And these are some of the things that are pushing our young men and women to be victims of entrepreneurs of slavery in this country. That the way the society is really pressuring the Kenyan youth in terms of you need to do this ABCD, it's really bad. And you see, this pressure is coming at a situation whereby also this person, help is on their neck. The interest is piling every month at a rate of 5,000 penalty every month. So this piling help also needs to be paid. And this person looking for a job, he goes to the government to look for a job, he needs clearance from EACC. He needs to pay 2,000 to prove that he's not corrupt, even when he's not corrupt. He needs to pay 2,000 to be cleared from help. You see, he needs to look for 1030, that is 1,030 bob, to get certificate of good conduct. And you know, we're talking about a graduate who is not employed, and even the work that is applying for, sometimes this CV may not even reach to where it is supposed to reach. Some of these CVs end up in the secretary's dustbins, and we are here pressuring this youth to be very successful. And the way this success has been defined by the society, it is a success that is coming in terms of how many vehicles do you have you bought land, have you constructed a big house, have you constructed a big house for your parents, have you taken your siblings to school, are you living in the city, are you living in a magnificent house, are you living in a cool neighborhood, and so forth. All this pressure is pushing our young women and our young men to go to these countries, despite the fact that they have seen others suffering. And this goes now back, how are we supposed to solve this mess? Number one, I believe that it's high time that the Kenyan government started thinking objectively about the Kenyan youth, not to make us politically happy, but to actually put up conditions and environment that can be able to see a Kenyan youth being self-sustaining. We not necessarily need works in offices. We only need enabling environment that can be able to give us a chance to conduct even businesses without being pressed so much by the government regulations and business policies that actually end up removing us out of business and leave the space for the cartels and for the rich and the elite. And secondly, we need to do away with these entrepreneurs of slavery in the name of work agents that are taking people to the Gulf. And I'm saying that we need to do away with them, because the day we will do away with these people, then we will be able to find a solution for our Kenyan youth. Because we have put these people as like they are employers to our youth, but they are not employers actually. They are warlords, they are slave lords who are playing on our desperate Kenyan youth. So it's either they are done away with, or they are given conditions for taking the Kenyan youth outside this country. And these conditions has to be, they have to make a follow-up, they have to be in contact with the person they have taken there, and whenever there's a problem, they have to make sure that this person comes back alive within the shortest time possible. Not that they leave these people to suffer and to a point that somebody dies. And secondly, thirdly, we should have the government working together with the Kenyan embassy in Saudia to make sure that any Kenyan working in Saudi Arabia is subjected to the right working condition. And whenever there's a problem, that the Kenyan embassy officials in Saudi are able to get this Kenyan, and they are able to facilitate even their coming back home. That they are not forced to go back to their posts, because we have had cases where somebody goes even up to the embassy, but the embassy does nothing. We have cases where people call the embassy, but the embassy does not report. There are cases of young women who have cried that even they called the agents who took them to Saudi, but they, instead of even being brought back, they were changed for the post. And the second post was even bad. All they were taken back to the post, and the post said, "Oh, I will help you." We had a case, I listened to a case where a girl went and even recorded how the post punched her. But when this story went viral, and the Kenyan and the agent that took this girl to that post got the information, the post negotiated with the agent, and he said, "Oh, I will treat you well, I will not harm you." And when she came back home, she was held at gunpoint and was forced to record a message that actually it's not the post that punched her, but she punched herself while she was cooking. It is that bad. We need to get people on the ground in Saudi Arabia, that is the Kenyan embassy, and in cooperation with the Kenyan government here, in cooperation with the agents who are taking these people there, to find a solution or to get means of helping these people whenever there is a question or they raise issues. And it also goes down next to our youths who are leaving this country. Don't leave Kenya in the name that you have been promised a job in Saudi Arabia. Already, so many have died there. Families are crying the loss of their beloved ones. Families are crying their beloved ones coming back crippled. Young men and women are crying in Saudia. Their bosses are mistreating them. Some have not been lucky enough to get the help to come back home. So if you are watching this clip, or if you have seen news of Kenyans traveling in Saudi Arabia, whatever situations that you may be going through in this country, it is better you start selling eggs or doing hawking anything in the Kenyan streets than running to the Saudi Arabia thinking that there are greener pastures there. There are no greener pastures in Saudi Arabia from the evidence and from the stories and from the corpses that Kenya has received of its own people who have gone there and came back dead. So please, Kenyan youths, we know unemployment is really pressing us so much. The society is on us. Our parents are on us. Our peers are on us. Everything, there's a lot of pressure around us. The pressure to succeed. The pressure to make money. It is a call that you can be able to make your own money in this country and be happy. East or west, home is the best. Don't be promised of greener pastures. Don't be promised to earn 30K a month in Saudia if you can be able to earn 15K a month here in Kenya. Because you are going to earn that money the hardest way. And sometimes you are not so sure of you coming back. You have seen them say that if you are leaving this country, sign your death certificate before you go. They are talking through experience. They have gone there. They have suffered. They have tested the waters and they know the depth of that waters. Please, our Kenyans who are scrambling and looking for these agents to take you to the Gulf, think twice. Are you ready to come back as a corpse? Are you ready to go there and be beaten, be burnt, be subjected to harsh working conditions, and then you go to the media to cry for help, to tell Kenyans to contribute money for your fare to come back? Please, before you start touching the bell calling for alert and for help from Kenyans, if you are in this country and you are planning to go to the Gulf, please don't. Think twice. You better do agriculture. You better train for another skill. There are so many skills that you can train on. In fact, you can even start doing bakery, you can do catering, and you can even hawk in these streets. Any work in Kenya, I believe any legal work in Kenya can give you income compared to going to the Gulf and coming back death. And therefore, to the agents who are doing entrepreneurship of slavery, please leave our young men and women alone. Take your daughters and sons to the Gulf. Please. Once you lose yours, you will know the pain of a parent losing a daughter who went to look for greener pastures, but only to come back in a dry tree in the name of a corpse. Thank you.